Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Kenzo for Life here, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite Warframes, Excalibur. Now, Excalibur was the very first Warframe that I was able to use, and he basically taught me how to play this game in an offensive manner because Excalibur is a really good offensive character. He can be taken to a number of different missions in order to, be successful. So, I'd like to take a look at Excalibur here, some gameplay. He's using the Supra. The Supra you can actually get from the markets. If you have it researched in your dojo, that's even better. The Haikyuu Primes are the throwing stars. They're very, very good. And also the Nakana Prime. So, without further ado, I'd like to take a look at some gameplay of Excalibur in action, and then we'll go on to the builds. So, let's take a look at my boy Excalibur. Enjoy! Hey, welcome back, guys. So, we're going to be talking about my boy Excalibur here. Now, Excalibur, he is one of the four very first Warframes that you can actually choose to inhabit when you first start playing the game. As you see there, I'm using the Haikyuu Primes to eradicate these dudes real quick. So, let's talk about Excalibur. Now, there's some pros and cons to using Excalibur. Firstly, the pros. All right, let's go with the pros first. The pros is that Excalibur is a really good offensive character. He can be taken to a lot of different things, not necessarily just sabotages and mobile defense and things of that sort. He could definitely be taken to a survival, regular defense, some spy missions, if you have the right build in place. So, definitely bring Excalibur. Excalibur can be versatile. He's very versatile, which is what I like about him. I would never get rid of my Excalibur because I really do like using it. He has really good powers or abilities, so let's talk about those abilities real quick. His first ability, Slash Dash, is basically he slashes across the floor or slides across the floor and slashes his enemies underneath him, which is a really good again, offensive maneuver to take the enemies off their feet, and then you stab them through their stomach. I think that's pretty cool. His second ability, which would be radio blind. Radio blind basically blinds his enemies in the radius of where he is. So if it's a 2-mile radius, everything within 2-mile radius will be blinded by him, and then you can either get your pooch there. That's my Poochie there, who just jumped up and ate him. You could get your Pooch or your Sentinel or whatever, or yourself to go behind it, stab it, do a pretty cool combo with Radio Blind. So Radio Blind is a really good ability to have as well. His third ability, which is Radial Javelin, it basically is like a javelin. It basically shoots little bolts out of his sword to kill his enemies in the range of where he is. So if it's a 1-2 diameter, based on how you build it, he'll basically, shoot everything. Oh my god. That dog. My dog is ferocious. He'll basically shoot everything within the radius that he's in. So, his fourth ability, which would be the sword, which is, I was a little upset as well that his fourth ability was nerfed. I just didn't think that Exalted Blade needed to be nerfed. I didn't think that there was a reason for it. The only drawback was that it was going through the walls to kill the enemies, and I just didn't think that was no reason for that at all. I just didn't see there being any rhyme or reason for it. But que sera, sera. So, let's talk about his fourth ability, Exalted Blade. Now, Exalted Blade basically derives off of the sword that he is using. I'm using the Nakana Prime. So if you have a viral build on your Nakana, or whatever sword you're using, the Exalted Blade basically procs off of the sword that you're using. So say like you have a viral proc, you'll get the viral damage and also the damage that is adjacent to the exalted blade. Again, I don't really see why it had to be nerfed, but that's just not the fact that it does those things is not a reason to nerf it. That's just my view. Um, Exalted, so Exalted Blade is definitely a really good fourth ability. It basically allows for Excalibur to slash and kill his enemies at will. To to uh, get rid of these dudes. I just can't say. I was gonna say something else in respect to that, but just to get rid of these dudes, the Exalted Blade is definitely the thing that you want to use to accomplish that. So, let's talk about my Fierce Kubro. My Kubro is getting some work done here. For all of you who do the Kubro breeding, I have an Omega Lotus. I was really lucky, honestly, to get this Omega Lotus. I had a male. I think it was two males. It was two males. I think it was a Huros and a Shika. A Huros and a Shika, and it was two males. And I got the egg. I went out and farmed for the egg, and then next thing I knew, there I had an Omega Lotus. So, if for all those who do the Kubro breeding, please tell me how that was even possible. So, when you get a Kubro, I would want to touch on that in the other video. But once you get a Kubro, there is like a whole science behind it. You can mate two males, two females, one male, one female, things of the sort to get a certain type of breed of Kubro. But definitely get yourself a Kubro. If you're able to get yourself a Kubro, definitely participate and anticipate getting one of those because Kubros are a really good asset as well. I really think my dog needs anger management classes. Like, that is ridiculous. I mean, yeah, he's a war dog, but crikey, like he had a family. Good lord. He had kids. My goodness. And he's not even trying to not jump in their face. Like, he's just all over these dudes. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now, there's been I've seen some people in the community asking about the Nakana Prime. The Nakana Prime is vaulted. It's been vaulted, I think, update 16 or 15, I believe. It was vaulted a while ago. The Nakana Prime is one of the, actually, not one of the best sword rapier, as far as a rapier, as far as daggers go, as far as any other like light sword goes. The Nakata Prime is the absolute best one. Basically, the things that the Nakata Prime can accomplish are devastating, especially built correctly. You definitely want to get yourself a Nakata Prime. The Nakata Prime, again, is vaulted, so if you have the appropriate relics, if you can get a buddy who has one or has a set, definitely get your hands on an Arcana Prime. Definitely get your hands on one of those because Excalibur doesn't leave home without it. That light just did not want to go the fuck out. Like, what the crap? So the maps that Excalibur basically excels at, or from what I know, um, mobile defenses. He really is good at intercepts. Excalibur is really decent at intercepts and also sabotage. But I like to take Excalibur to several different places just to test him out to see how far I could push him. I usually take him to defenses, some survivals. I sometimes used to take him to spy missions, just to see if he was able to, get in and out of the facility undetected and stuff like that. So, I mean, I really do like Excalibur. I think that he's just so underrated. That he, because of his utility, that's partially the problem. His utility. Welcome back, guys. So now I have the throwing stars Haiku Prime. So let's just talk about his utility and the cons. Now, went to one of the pros. Let's go to one of the cons as to why Excalibur just gets a bad rap. Excalibur gets a bad rap because he's just people think that he's a one trick pony. Like, people just seem to think that he can only be good with sabotage, intercept. Maybe a mobile defense or two, but he's just not able to take the punishments of some other Warframes, and that's just not anywhere near the case. If you build your Excalibur correctly, he will be able to take just as much punishment as the other Warframes. The only difference is, which is what I'm going to get to now, the con. The con is that Excalibur can tend to be a little bit squishy. A lot sometimes when you are trying to get a defense or a survival, especially at the higher end survivals, he tends to fall off. The damage, the output that he does with his Exalted Blade tends to fall off, and that's partially the reason why some people don't want to use it, because of that reason. The fact that the Exalted Blade just, once you get to end game enemies, the Exalted Blade just the damage output just seems to be nothing, and then, you have to go to other means to kill your enemies, especially at higher levels, which I get. I understand that is part of that's a con. That's part of the reason why some people don't use it. However, like I said before, with the proper build, with the proper technique, with the proper patience and time, Excalibur could be potentially an end game character. You just have to be able to be willing to be patient with it and take your time and constantly test out his playstyle, if it suits you or if it doesn't. So that's the difference between, like, kind of feeling it out and feeling just kind of feeling it out and seeing if you could bring him to his full potential, if you can't. It all depends on the person's playstyle and what they're trying to accomplish. So that's one of the cons. I feel that Excalibur is a really good character. I think that he could be really good at endgame, and possibly definitely could take him to other missions other than mobile defense, intercept, sabotage, and some spy missions and something of the sort. Excalibur is a really good character, and with taking a lot of pride and taking well, he could definitely be somebody in your arsenal that you would want to keep. So definitely keep Excalibur. Alright guys, this is my Excalibur build. Now I have two separate builds for Excalibur. I have the Exalted Blade build, and I also have the Radio Blind and Radio Javelin build. What you see here is the Radio Blind and Radio Javelin build. What I'm looking for is some range and also duration. So I have Cunning Drift there. For my other build, I actually have Power Drift on that, but for this particular build, I have Cunning Drift, Steel Charge, Stretch, Streamline, Transient Fortitude, Prime Continuity, Prime Flow, Vitality, and Steel Fiber. And the reason why I have those there is because, like I said in an earlier video, mods are like brother and sister, boyfriend and girlfriend. They basically feed off each other to, produce a certain type of goal that you're looking to do. So that's why I have those two mods there. So this is, as I said, now we're going to move on to my Exalted Blade build. This is my Exalted Blade build. As you can see, I took Cunning Drift out for Power Drift, because basically what I'm looking for is for the Exalted Blade to be, for the power to not dip off so much once you get to higher end enemies. But that's why I have Steel Fiber, Streamline, Stretch, Prime Continuity, Transient Fortitude, Prime Flow, and Vitality there in order to achieve that goal. Welcome back, guys. So this is my Nakana Prime build. I have Blind Justice, Prime Pressure Point, True Steel, Organ Shatterer, Vicious Frost, Voltaic Strike, Virulent Scourge, Buzzkill, and Berserker. Those are basically the elements that I wanted for my Nakana Prime. That's why I put those there, but you can mod as you see fit. I like Blind Justice. I like the combo that Blind Justice will give you, so that's why I put that there in the aura slot. And obviously Prime Pressure Point and Berserker are must-haves for Nakana, and also Buzzkill, True Steel, and Organ Shatterer. All those will give you a combo multiplier and also will allow the sword to adjust to your Exalted Blade, as I was saying earlier. So that's why I have those particular elements on my Nakana Prime. Use as you see fit, ladies and gentlemen. Use as you see fit. Now we're going to go on to my Haiku Prime build. This is the Haiku Primes. I have Hornet Strike, Lethal Torrent, Heated Charge, Convulsion, Gunslinger, Pistol Pestilence, and Ice Storm. Again, as I said, I put those particular elements because I like the damage output that I get from them, and also I really do like how fast those things go once I'm slinging them. And that's why I have Gunslinger there, but I'm actually going to take Gunslinger out for Barrel Diffusion because I do want that multi-shot. Or I may just go ahead and farm the Haiku Primes one more time to get that, still get that Gunslinger thing, but still be able to use the multi-shot. So that's why I'm going to swap out for Barrel Diffusion. As you can see, I have 3 different setups for my opponents, and not necessarily for the things that the swords and the Haiku Primes actually do. So give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe, guys. Let me know what you want me to play next, and I'll see you in the next video. Auf Wiedersehen.